If you're dreaming of turquoise lakes, warm mountain days, and peak adventure season, July is the perfect time to visit Banff. But before you pack your bags, let's talk about the trade-offs, what's open, what to expect, and how to make the most of every summer day. Welcome to the Banff Travel Podcast. I'm your host, Celine Brewer, a local Canmore resident living the mountain life all year long. When I'm not hiking to a new viewpoint, hitting the local mountain bike trails, or skating on frozen lakes in the winter, I'm helping travelers like you plan unforgettable trips to Banff National Park. As co-founder of Banff Travel Planning and Travel Banff Canada, and a fellow traveler who spent years exploring the world with my husband and our 2 kids, I know what it takes to plan a trip that's smooth, stress-free, and full of wow moments. Let's just call it what it is. July is Banff's busiest month. It's when everything is open, the weather is warmest, the wildflowers are blooming, and visitors from around the world descend on this magical corner of the Rockies. So if you're coming in July, you picked a great time, especially if you love warm days, long summer evenings, and a sense that the whole park is alive. That said, you also need to plan ahead more than ever. Parking lots fill up, shuttles book up, and accommodation prices are at their peak. But the trade-off? You won't miss out on a thing. Unlike shoulder season months like May or November, July is full-on summer in Banff. Every major activity, tour, and trail is now accessible, assuming there are no closures due to wildlife. Moraine Lake Road is open and is accessible by shuttle or by biking up the road, or if you're staying at the lodge or have a handicap tag, you can still drive there. For shuttles, you need to book those in advance. Now, if you plan to bike, entirely possible, but just know that you'll be sharing that narrow mountain road with shuttles. Lake Louise is fully thawed, boathouse is open, and the tea house hikes are in full swing. All gondolas and chairlifts are running. The Banff Gondola, Lake Louise, Mount Norquay Chairlift, and Sunshine Meadows. Wildlife tours, river floats, via ferrata, whitewater rafting, canyoning, they're all available and running multiple times a day. Canoeing, horseback riding, full swing as well. The Icefields Parkway is clear, and all the stops, including the Glacier Adventure and Skywalker, open. If there's something you've seen online and said, I want to do that, July is when it's probably happening. What's the weather like in Banff in July? July is usually the warmest month in Banff. Daytime highs often reach 22 to 25 degrees Celsius, so 72 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, with some hot days climbing to 30 degrees or even higher. Mornings are cooler and perfect for those early hikes. Evenings are long and bright with sunset around 10 p.m., making it feel like you have 2 full days packed into one. You can even split your day with a little midday break. That said, don't skip the layers. Weather in the mountains can change quickly. A sunny morning can turn into an afternoon thunderstorm. Pack that rain jacket and a fleece just in case. Now let's get into the fun part. What to do? July is overflowing with amazing options. Here's a mix of classics and some lesser-known adventures. Obviously, visit Lake Louise and Moraine Lake. It's on everybody's list. Canoe across Lake Louise or hike to Lake Agnes Tea House, or head further up to the Big Beehive or even the Plain of Six Glaciers Tea House. Moraine Lake, walk the lakeshore, climb the rock pile, hike to Constellation Lakes, or do the iconic Larch Valley Sentinel Pass Trail. Just don't forget, you'll need to plan how to get to Moraine Lake. I'll link my guides to Moraine Lake, Lake Louise, hikes, and shuttles in the show notes. Try the Via Ferrata at Mount Norquay. This is an unforgettable way to step out of your comfort zone. Safely clipped in with a harness, you'll climb ladders, cross bridges, and enjoy stunning views. There are multiple routes depending on your comfort level. Ride the gondolas and chairlifts. Catch incredible panoramic views with less effort. My favorite for sunsets, up the Banff Gondola. My favorite for wildlife, the Lake Louise Gondola. And for wildflowers and alpine hiking, definitely Sunshine Meadows. If you want more information about any of the gondolas or chairlifts around Banff, head on over to episode 7, where I give you the full breakdown on each. What about horseback riding? Head out on a guided trail ride with Banff Trail Riders. They offer half-day or even multi-day adventures. You're going to want to book that one in advance. Obviously, hiking. July is when almost every trail is open, except for the occasional wildlife closure, or you may find some trails around Jasper still closed this year. From Tunnel Mountain to Johnson Canyon to Parker Ridge, Helen Lake, your hiking options are wide open. I'll link some of my hiking guides in the show notes to help you choose which ones. What about a Lake Minnewanka cruise? If hiking or canoeing isn't your thing, this guided boat tour is a perfect way to explore one of Banff's largest lakes while learning about its fascinating underwater ghost town. Try canyoning or whitewater rafting. If you're feeling adventurous, canyoning takes you down a narrow canyon using ropes, natural slides, and jumps. This is great for older kids, teens, and active adults. Or book a whitewater rafting trip on the Kicking Horse River or in Kananaskis. Finding yourself with a day where the weather doesn't look so great, maybe it's too hot, maybe it's rainy, maybe it's smoky. Why not explore Canmore's cave tours? Go underground with Canmore Cave Tours. You'll crawl, climb, and squeeze your way through a beautiful cave system. Kids as young as 10 can even join in on the Explorer Tour. Take a scenic drive. The Icefields Parkway is calling. It's one of the most beautiful drives in the world. Perfect for a full day of stops like Bow Lake, Peyto Lake, Columbia Icefield, and wherever else you choose to stop. The Bow Valley Parkway is another gem with potential wildlife sightings, great picnic spots, and of course access to Johnston Canyon. And my favorite part about July, wildflowers. Wildflowers hit their peak mid to late July, so plan hikes like Sunshine Meadows, Helen Lake, Parker Ridge to see the alpine meadows painted in wildflowers. Obviously, this isn't an extensive list, so I'll link my full guide to visiting Banff in July in the show notes. So you can see how easy it is to fill your days in July, but let's be honest, Banff is very busy in July. But you can still have an incredible experience if you do a little bit of planning. Start your days early. Think 6:30 or 7 a.m. That's how you get parking spots and quieter trails. This might just be one of those trips where you plan to get up early each day. Use the Roam bus or shuttles to save the hassle. If you know you're visiting the Banff Gondola midday and the parking lot is typically full, save yourself the headache of looking for a spot and just take Roam Transit. Explore less busy spots. Yes, everyone wants to come and see the top places we always see on social media, but choosing lesser known hikes is a great way to get away from the crowds. Walk or bike where possible. Don't try to drive everywhere in the town of Banff. Park for free at the train station and explore on foot or by bike instead. You can do this in the town of Canmore as well. If you're not an early riser, go in the evening. After 6 p.m., parking lots clear out and the light is still gorgeous. And of course, check for any wildlife closures and plan around them. Always carry bear spray and know how to use it. Now, packing for July gets a little bit simpler, but this is what you should take out with you for the day. A light jacket or a fleece, a rain jacket, sunscreen, bug spray, hat, sunglasses, plenty of water, especially on sunny hikes, and more water than you think you'll need. Please don't show up to your hikes with a small little plastic water bottle. That's not going to be enough water for hiking places like Lake Agnes Tea House or the Beehives. Don't forget those snacks and a packed lunch. Then you can have lunch with the most scenic views. Bear spray, of course. Comfy hiking shoes are great for being on your feet all day long. And maybe throw in a swimsuit for jumping into those chilly lakes and a small towel for drying off after. All right, so here are my final tips for you July travelers. Book activities in advance, especially shuttles, rafting, canyoning, guided hikes. Be flexible. Weather, wildlife, parking challenges can all force changes. And make sure to have a backup plan. Stay hydrated and pace yourself, especially on hot days or if you aren't a frequent hiker. And of course, respect the park. Stay on the trails, pack out your garbage, and give wildlife the space they need. If you're still overwhelmed, remember I offer pre-built Banff itineraries and a full Banff travel guide, and I'll link to those in the show notes. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Banff Travel Podcast. If you got value from this episode, do me a favor. Make sure to follow the podcast so you don't miss the next one. It's free, it helps the show, and it keeps you in the loop. I'd also appreciate if you left a review. If you'd like to support the podcast, I now have a page where you can say thanks, send a tip, or grab one of my downloadable guides. You'll find it at travelbanffcanada.com/support, and I appreciate every single bit of support. It helps me keep this going where I can help travelers like you make the most of their trip to the Canadian Rockies without the stress and overwhelm. And if you have a question you'd like me to answer in a future episode, head to banfftravelplanning.com/podcast and send it in. Until next time, happy trip planning, and I'll see you out on the trails.